Picture this. You're making dinner. Your 2-year-old is pointing at their cup making that sound. And you hand it over immediately. They're happy. You move on. Repeat that 50 times a day, and here's what's actually happening. Your child is learning they don't need words, because you already understand them perfectly without any. Here's the counterintuitive part. In parts of Japan and Scandinavia, parents are coached to do something that looks almost unkind. They pause. They wait. They look at their child expectantly, even when they know exactly what the child wants. And those children consistently test ahead in vocabulary by 18 months compared to Western peers in language acquisition studies. Same loving parents. Same devoted attention. Completely different results. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple 10-minute daily framework, 5 concrete steps that can add hundreds of words to your toddler's vocabulary faster than any flashcard app or educational toy ever could. And stay with me until the end, because step 4 is the one most parents skip completely, and it might be the most powerful thing you do all day. The real problem. Do any of these sound familiar? You narrate everything. You buy the toys, download the apps, read every night. And yet at the pediatric checkup, the doctor asks how many words your child has, and you feel that flutter of panic trying to count them up. Before we go further, drop a number in the comments. How many words does your toddler say right now? Don't overthink it, just your best guess. I want to see where everyone's starting from. Here's what might sting a little. The problem almost certainly isn't your child, and it isn't your effort. It's that most of us are doing the right things in the wrong way. When you talk at your toddler, narrating, labeling, describing, you're filling the airspace. But a toddler's language centers don't activate just from hearing words. They activate most powerfully when the child is trying to produce language, when there's a communicative need, when the brain is reaching for a word and struggling to find it. Here's what the neuroscience tells us. The prefrontal cortex is exercised when a child has to figure out how to get what they want. When you anticipate every need before they can communicate it, you're doing the mental push-up for them. Their vocabulary stays thin, not from lack of exposure, but from lack of need. This is the core distinction. There's a difference between a child who has heard 1,000 words and a child who has needed 1,000 words. Only one of those walks into kindergarten able to express themselves. The cultural reframe. In Reggio Emilia, Italy, home to one of the world's most respected early childhood education philosophies, teachers operate by a principle called provocation. They deliberately create situations where children encounter a gap between what they can do and what they want to do, not to frustrate them, to invite language. A 3-year-old wants more paint. The teacher doesn't immediately refill the tray. She makes eye contact and waits. The child reaches for the word more, and that reaching is what wires it in permanently. Now you're probably thinking, that's a trained teacher in a special school. I'm a tired parent trying to get through Tuesday.
Fair.
But here's the reframe. This isn't Italian magic. It's universal neuroscience. The brain builds vocabulary through communicative need the same way in every child, in every country. The environment just has to create the right conditions. The framework that captures this comes from Harvard Center on the Developing Child. It's called serve and return. Your child serves a gesture, a sound, a point. Instead of handing them the answer, you return the ball in a way that keeps the exchange going and layers in language naturally. Simple analogy. Lifting weights builds muscle, but only if you lift them. When you complete every communicative exchange for your toddler, you're doing their reps. Words stick when children need them, not just when they hear them. Coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to show you a bedtime routine that takes less than 2 minutes and quietly builds vocabulary while your child is falling asleep. Neuroscience says it's one of the most effective windows of the entire day. Don't skip out before we get there. The 4 pillars. Pillar 1. The responsive pause when your toddler makes any communicative bid, a sound, a point, a reach. Wait 3 to 5 seconds before responding. Research tracking conversational turn-taking found that when parents wait, children's verbal responses increase by up to 40%. The brain needs white space to produce language. Your 18-month-old points at their cup. You make eye contact, Raise your eyebrows and wait. They say, "Si." You say, "Cup." You want your cup. And hand it over. That moment of reaching is vocabulary being wired in. Have you ever tried the pause and had it actually work? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and I want to hear your stories. Pillar 2. Sportscast their experience. Not yours. Narrate what your child is doing from their perspective, not what you observe from the outside. Look at the big dog is your view. You're touching the dog soft. The dog is so soft is their experience. Mirror neurons fire when we observe and when we act. Language linked to embodied sensation creates far stronger neural encoding than labeling objects in the environment. Language linked to experience is language that lasts. Pillar 3. Expand. Don't correct when your toddler says something. Repeat it correctly and add one word. Correction activates mild stress responses that actually inhibit language production. Expansion validates and stretches. Your 3-year-old says bird fly. You say yes, the bird is flying, flying high. You've confirmed, corrected naturally, and added high. 3 vocabulary touches in one sentence. Expand always. Correct almost never. Pillar 4. Build language routines. Use the same language scaffolding in the same sequence during daily rituals, so toddlers can begin to anticipate and eventually fill in words themselves. The basal ganglia, the brain's habit formation system, thrives on routine. Every bath time. First shoes off. 1 sock, 2 socks. By week 3, your 2-year-old is holding up fingers. By week 6, they're saying 2 socks. Repetition isn't boring to a toddler. It's how their brain builds language. Okay, now we get to the part most parents came here for. 5 steps. 10 minutes. I'm going to break down exactly what to say, when to say it, and what's happening inside your child's brain each time you do. Let's go. Your 10-minute daily practice. Step 1. Pick one routine to narrate differently. Slow it down by 30 seconds. Instead of rushing through shoes, say shoes. 1 shoe, 2 shoes. Your shoes are on. Ready. Repetition across sensory channels, hearing, seeing, feeling, creates multiple memory pathways for the same word. You're not slowing everything down. Just one routine a day. Step 2. Respond to every communicative bid for 10 minutes. Set a timer. For that window, every point, grunt, reach, and babble gets a response. Not an answer, a response. Instead of handing over the toy make eye contact and say, "You want something. What do you want?" Then wait. You're teaching them that words are the most powerful tool they have. But my child will melt down. Brief, supported frustration before language is exactly the condition that builds vocabulary. You're right there. They're safe. Which of these first 2 steps feels hardest for you? The pause or holding back when your child gets frustrated? Comment below, pause or hold back, and let's see what the split is. I have a feeling I already know the answer. Step 3. Read one book interactively. Stop on pages. Point. Wait. What's that? Let them try. Expand what they say. Interactive reading activates comprehension and production simultaneously, far more effective than passive listening, according to decades of dialogic reading research. A 2-year-old can point to the dog when you ask. Start where they are. Step 4. Introduce new words in familiar contexts. Toddlers don't need vocabulary lists. They need new words attached to experiences they already understand. Instead of "the sky is blue," try "look, that cloud is enormous." Enormous. The biggest cloud. They already know clouds. You've just anchored enormous to familiar ground. New vocabulary acquisition is dramatically more efficient when attached to existing knowledge. Okay, this is the step I teased at the beginning. Step 5 takes less than 2 minutes. You do it lying down, and research shows it might be the single highest return vocabulary moment of your child's entire day. Here it is. Step 5. End with a bedtime language cuddle. At bedtime, narrate 3 things from your child's day. Today you ate eggs. You played outside. You saw a dog, a fluffy dog. Comprehension always precedes production, so even if they can't repeat it yet, they're absorbing it. And research shows that vocabulary reviewed verbally before sleep has measurably higher retention in early childhood. 3 sentences. That's the whole step. You do it lying down, in the dark, already cuddling. There is no easier win in parenting. Tell me in the comments, what does your current bedtime routine look like? Do you already do something like this? Or is this brand new? I'm genuinely curious how many of you are already closer to this than you think. 3 objections answered. My child is different. They're shy, stubborn, or behind. This framework was studied specifically on children with language delays and communication differences, and it works more effectively with them, not less. Its low-pressure nature reduces the anxiety that suppresses language in quieter children. Their temperament doesn't override their neuroscience. We speak 2 languages. This won't apply to us. Bilingual children are actually the strongest evidence for this approach. Research shows bilingual toddlers don't have smaller vocabularies. They have the same number of concepts across 2 languages. Serve and return works in any language. Pick your home language and apply these steps. I don't have 10 consecutive minutes. Then don't use 10 consecutive minutes. Research shows 5 2-minute bursts of high-quality interaction outperform 20 minutes of passive co-presence. Breakfast is 2 minutes. The car is 2 minutes. Bath time is 2 minutes. You already have them. Before I wrap up, I want to circle back to that scene from the very beginning, because it looks completely different now, and I want you to see exactly why. Remember that scene from the beginning? Your 2-year-old at the pot. Here's how it looks now. You make eye contact. You wait. They say hot. You say hot. Yes, the pot is hot. Too hot to touch. And you go back to dinner. That exchange took 8 seconds. You just reinforced hot, pot, and touch in one serve and return moment. 4 pillars. The responsive pause, sports casting their experience, expanding without correcting, and building language routines. 5 steps you can fit into any ordinary day. Will you do this perfectly from tomorrow?
No.
And that's fine. Your child's brain wants to learn language. It's wired for it. You're just learning to work with that wiring instead of around it. Your 1 action step for today. Tonight at bedtime, narrate 3 things from your child's day. Just 3. Start there. And when you do it tonight, come back and tell me what happened. Did your toddler respond? Did they surprise you? Drop it in the comments. This community is full of parents doing exactly what you're doing, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this video helped you, share it with one parent who needs it. And if you want to go deeper, if you're wondering what to do when your toddler is significantly behind or goes quiet in social situations, my video on late talkers is linked right here.
I'll see you there.